Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for another RWBY Volume 8 reaction. This time we are up to Volume 8, Episode 7, War. It's all-out war in Atlas. Our heroes face an impossible problem. Where do they go from here? Very good question. If you didn't know, this is also the last episode before the mid-season break, so I am expecting some things to go down. Maybe literally. Probably too soon for that. But definitely I feel like there is still plenty of room for things to go bad. I'm expecting, despite the past couple of episodes already having some fairly cliffhanger-ish events happening, I'm sure that they've been saving the most cliffhangeriest one for this episode. I imagine that we're going to be left writhing in pain at the end of this one, as we have to wait for another, month and a half or something like that. So what events have been set up that we're waiting for this time? We've got Penny. I think she's a really good candidate for coming back, probably at the very end, as the cliffhanger maybe. She's going to come back, not as we expected, under Watts' control, and, by extension, Salem's. Remembering her burning up means she might also look a bit more gnarly this time. I could imagine her looking really rough from being burned up, and then also being controlled by Salem. So, yeah, that's great. We also have, related to that, Cinder has been sent to go and free Watts, I think, and then from him get help in finding Penny. Although I suspect that this is also just Salem finding a way to dispose of a problematic element in her group. So, while I don't doubt that Salem is using her for some benefit, I don't think this is purely for Cinder's benefit. I don't know whether Salem would actively kill her, or whether she's just using her in a very disposable manner. I am a little bit suspicious about her use of the Hound, and the way that the Hound was sniffing Neo, Emerald, and Cinder. I feel like maybe, regardless of what Cinder does, the Hound may have instructions to eliminate her afterwards. And then I wonder whether the Hound could capture the power. That doesn't make sense. Maybe he just needs to retrieve her, I don't know. Anyway, so we've got the different parts of the team, Ruby's and Yang's sides of the team, split between Atlas and, well, the ground. Although I suppose that having met up with the Aesops, possibly that's a way that Jean, Yang, and Ren could get a lift up? Who knows, I don't know what's going to happen, but well, there's going to be plenty of stuff happening down below as well, so I could easily see them fighting in two different areas, or maybe they all end up going up top for the ultimately disastrous fight there. Yeah, I mean, this is a big episode. I've already spent a while rambling, so I'm gonna get into it. Episode 7 in 3, 2, 1, play. Seven episodes in, and I only finally see the city burning in within Ironwood's picture there. I'd noticed all of the other characters, had sort of the images of their pasts behind them and stuff, but I'd never noticed Ironwood's before. Once again, with me still seeing new things each time I watch the opening. This is such a great sequence. So what happens to Cinder? I think I mentioned it in the last episode, but I do... It was interesting seeing when her, you know, she was being tortured by her Grim arm. It alluded back to her being tortured by the shock collar, but at the same time it also showed the part where she started getting to resist the shock collar. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be pooping myself too, buddy. That thing is huge. Oh, it's still spewing out more stuff. Ah, here we go. All your favorites are here.
Yes, sir?
I am evacuating all citizens to the subway. Prepare Manta Squad Omega and dispatch to every part of Atlas.
But, sir...
Now!
Citizens of Atlas, please proceed to the nearest underground subway stations for shelter.
I suppose that depending on where you were, you wouldn't necessarily have known that. Yeah, that's bad. I was just curious about the citizens not already being panicked.
Back up, sir. The generators took too much damage. Then don't waste resources on them. Beta Squad, the creature.
We tried bombs, missiles, but we can't make a dent, sir.
Sir, Schnee here. Penny is still MIA, but we've apprehended Ark, Xiaolong, and Ren.
Stand by for further orders, and don't let those fugitives out of your sight.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Still just following orders.
That's where the Grim took Oscar. It's even bigger than I thought. Grim don't take prisoners.
This one did. If you would just let us go.
Ceasefire. Manta Squads, concentrate on secondary hostiles. Command is working on a solution for the creature.
What do you have in mind, sir?
We aren't making any progress attacking the thing from the outside. But from the inside, it could be vulnerable. Science team is putting together a bomb. When it's ready, we'll drop it off as close to the target as possible. Then your team will deliver it on foot. Sending you rendezvous coordinates now.
Of course, sir. We will hold the point, and we will get it done.
Oscar's in there.
You can't do this!
Ironwood already shot Oscar. I don't think he's gonna care so much. That is amazing. Oh, that is so good. It really is a thing of beauty.
That stunt you pulled, she'd have killed you if you didn't just pop up somewhere else. Still, you can make things easier on yourself if you start telling the truth.
Come on, Emerald. I don't have much faith in
She recruited you
Hazel anymore.
specifically, to help her find the relics.
We share a vision. She's gonna create a new world order. No kingdoms. And no Huntsman Academies.
Pretty sure no world either. A no world order?
When Salem gets all 4 relics, there will be no worlds left at all. Don't you get it? She's been alive longer than you can comprehend. All she craves now is release. Death.
Stop lying! Salem can't be killed. When she came for me, I killed her over and over again. The longest she was gone was only a few hours. Before she put herself back together. When I couldn't lift my arms anymore, she showed me that through her, I could have the vengeance I needed.
Oh, Hazel. Don't you see that is why she came for you? Because she could make you believe that this is what you needed?
This is what you deserve!
Yes! But Oscar, the people of Atlas, Remnant, you haven't done what you've done for justice. You've done it for yourself. Because she pushed you to think it would help you. Well, has it?
There are a lot of people lying to themselves.
Now what am I good for? How is she?
I've done what I can, but she needs a doctor.
Hopefully May's able to reach the others. I really hope they're okay. Salem's monster is making Grimm faster than the Atlas military can kill them. The city won't stand a chance unless we stop it.
It's massive. Way bigger than a Leviathan. What can we even do?
Penny launched Amity, and our message went out. Do we just wait for someone to come? If they even come.
I feel like short of teleporting.
Fiona said your friends haven't been heard from in a while. Unfortunately, the last thing they're worried about is a couple of kids. Come on, I've got the ship ready to head back in.
What? We can't leave.
It's chaos at the crater. Atlas has its army, but Mantle only has us. People are dying.
People are dying here too. Don't you have family in Atlas?
No. Mantle needed me. And to the Marigolds, that meant I wasn't their son anymore. And I made sure that everyone knew that I wasn't their daughter. So forget him. They've got Henry, yours have Whitley. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I suppose that she wouldn't really have much.
Anyway.
We've heard that before.
Of a tie back here still.
There are no sides. We want to help everyone. We're all facing Salem together. And together is the only way we're going to get out of it.
So how exactly do we get out of it?
So long as this world turns, you shall walk its face. That was the curse cast upon her. But if Salem can divide humanity beyond repair, and bring all 4 relics back together, she believes that maybe their curse will be broken. The gods will rule against us, and destroy Remnant, once and for all.
Nice story. But if Gretchen's death taught me one thing, it was never to trust you.
Please, let me.
But Oscar...
You want him to trust us, then trust me. Her name is Jin.
Huh?
You want her to come out of the lamp? Just say her name. She can still answer one more question.
After all that, you're just going to give Salem the password?
No. I'm giving you the password. And hoping you'll find the truth for yourself.
He's a prisoner, Am. He'll say what he thinks will get him out. So you're still going to Vacuo? After what I just told you?
Those are Salem's new orders. And I know better than to disobey Salem.
He's already setting up for the next...
Look, even if what he said
the
was
last
true,
academy.
we can't stop Salem. You told me yourself. Hazel tried. He failed, and he got in line. Big guy's not gonna pick fights he can't win. Neither should we. And all of this is pointless anyway. Salem's not ending the world.
Of course she is. You're surprised? Salem is destruction incarnate. Our mistress wishes to see the end of it all. There is no ideal more beautiful. If you couldn't see that from the start, you must be out of your mind. Now, come along, Mr. Black. You and I have a date with the desert.
What on earth is that? Maybe a tiny bit of doubt there, Mercury?
You can't blow it up with Oscar still in there.
That creature causes more damage every minute. We cannot wait.
Please, Winter, give us a chance to try to rescue him first. We could be your test run. You don't know what'll be waiting for you inside, right? So we can go ahead to check it out. And look for Oscar while we're inside.
You want to go inside that thing alone?
Wouldn't you do it for Elm? Harriet? Vine?
We don't let feelings get in the way of making the right call. Trading 3 lives for 1 is stupid.
No, it's not. He's our friend. We will do whatever it takes to find him. Because we care about him.
Yeah,
I
Ren.
really had you pegged as the most level-headed of the bunch, but I guess you're just as naive. Feelings don't matter. The job matters. When you lose someone on your team, you move on.
That's the conflict he's been having.
Like Marrow replaced Tortuga, and Winter replaced...
No! No one is replaceable. You don't really believe that. You are furious about losing Clover. And you...
Oh wow, is this another aspect of his... Wow.
That's why you lost against Team RWBY. You try to fight how you feel about each other, so you'll never truly work as a team.
Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about!
Everyone calm down.
Did we get a look at her?
Fine. We will drop you as close as we can to the monster.
You can't be serious. They're fugitives.
That was cool.
And traitors.
I outrank you. If you aren't out in time, we drop the payload. No matter what.
We understand.
Yeah, Ren's been fighting with this conflict for a long time, this internal conflict.
You don't want to be a part of it at all anymore.
I have a job to do, and I'm going to do it.
I know you don't either.
Wow.
Oh,
It's
wait.
absolutely torn.
What about Crow and Robin? Well, maybe if we get them out of wherever they're being held, they could...
No, see, you just don't get it. This is not a situation where everyone wins. Now you all can come with me to help in Mantle, or I can drop you off near the front lines if you still want to help Atlas. Your uncle and Robin can't save us. We have to choose. So choose.
At? Fine.
Miss Schnee, I heard there was a patient here who needed my help.
I am so sorry, Klein. It's my fault that Father...
Please don't worry, my snowflake. It had nothing to do with you. And everything to do with Jacques.
Well, that's...
Of course he's a doc.
But wait, how did you know...
Ah, young Whitley, I'm so glad that you rang. May I please see the patient? I understand it's urgent.
Yes, she's in Weiss's room. Just go up the...
I haven't been gone that long, Master Whitley. I believe I can find it.
You called Klein.
That girl needs a doctor. I didn't do it for you.
I know.
It's a small thing, but not insignificant.
Did you call anyone else?
That very slight shake of the head. The heck is that? Was that Penny?
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Ah! I was mentally starting to feel for the time. I'm thinking, oh, it's been going for a while. Not as bad as I thought, honestly. Not as bad as I thought. Okay, so that was a good episode, but it wasn't as cliffhangery as I had expected it to be. As far as, you know, the moment right at the end. For our team, it's obviously shocking, but more shocking would have been, you know, if Penny was, you know, being controlled or something like that. The end of last episode as well, where the Grim Whale came in and started spewing Grim all over the place. That also would have been pretty shocking. So I was half expecting something more awful. This one is just kind of a lot of things set up, obviously, so we're waiting for a lot of things, but there's nothing that's really agonizing. I mean, there's nothing that makes the 1.5 month wait any more agonizing than it already is. So we got to see a bit of a hint of the aforementioned war with the army of Atlas, looking pretty small on that plane there in that image. Arrayed against the seemingly endless forces of Grim, just spewing forth from that whale. I had found myself wondering about how insulated the citizens managed to be, to have not already been panicking at seeing the Grim hovering around like that. It might actually have been more difficult, although I would have thought that maybe the falling of the hard light shields might have caused some panic. We had more Hazel beating up Oscar, while Ozpin was trying to get through to him. Didn't really seem to be interested in the truth. But it is interesting to note that Hazel did actually fight Salem a few times. That's interesting. And then eventually he gave up, and it's still bizarre to think that he really believes she'd create a new world order, though. Tyrion, on the other hand, knows full well, I think he sees very clearly what Salem is about, and he is completely for it. We are still seeing more of Emerald's doubts. Mercury is still on board the Salem train, but hopefully he's gonna... Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know whether I really care what happens to him or not. I sort of care for him more just because I haven't really had a whole lot of his backstory yet, and more because Emerald seems to, not quite the right word, but care for him, I guess. As in, you know, I guess she's been kind of, you know, allies, friends with him for a while. It mattered what he thought before, when she was asking about, you know, Cinder, and asking about what his purpose was and all of that sort of thing. You know, just like by default, I think, traveling with him for a while, she doesn't want to see him leave and possibly do the wrong thing while she's being torn, you know, maybe the other way now. We do also get a hint of things to come, because Tyrion and Mercury are already being sent to Vacuo. That's how confident Salem is, and I don't blame her, that she's already preparing to take down Shade Academy, because she's... I mean, it's pretty clear this Atlas is in hand, one way or another. So I think she can already afford to start sending people to start stirring up trouble, preparing the way for her. So that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that, you know, eventually. I'm not sure whether we're going to just lose this and it's going to be just a running, you know, battle to try to get to Shade so that they can help there as quickly as possible, or what. We'll see. And one of the other sections that I'd noted was on Ren. Well, this whole group, but it was good to see Ren speaking up and letting his feelings out, kind of. I feel like this has been the conflict that's been happening. I'm sure he feels deeply, but he's always been spending a lot of time training himself. And, you know, that's sort of how his semblance works as well, with regards to suppression, or at least hiding of emotion and all that. And for a while I think he's been trying to... He thought that was the way to go, is that the Aesops were a way, or like a good model to follow. That they were professional, and they don't let their feelings get in the way, and all that sort of thing. But I think he's realizing that you can't completely throw it out. And it was really interesting seeing this change of his semblance as well. Or I don't know, maybe that's what he sees all the time, but it was really interesting that he can see other people's emotions as well. So as for the actual mission here, things could go pretty badly. They've got a plan to try to take down the whale from inside with the use of a bomb, and I'm thinking of all sorts of ways that things are going to go really bad. Maybe the bomb doesn't get in there, maybe the bomb causes damage outside, maybe it is successful, maybe, you know, maybe they do take down the whale but at great cost. Ironwood, as I mentioned, obviously isn't really concerned about Oscar being in there. He already tried to kill him once, so I don't think he's gonna mind if it accidentally takes out Oscar. Seeing way more of this conflict within the Aesops, I really hope that something good happens with them. And finally we have Penny. So I had actually anticipated that they would encounter Penny at the end of this episode, except that I had thought that she would be there with, you know, red eyes and menacing and all that sort of thing. So that wasn't the case. But then maybe that would have been too obvious, and there's still room for that to happen as well. So what do we get out of this? Obviously they're shocked, because what on earth happened to Penny? I don't know whether Penny died? I don't think so, that doesn't make sense. But there was briefly a moment there where I thought, is she apologizing because she's dying and is gonna be granting the Winter Maiden power to Ruby? And, you know, so she'd apologize because she'd consider that a burden that she's passing on. I mean, that would be one way to take the story. But I feel like we're still going to use Penny more. Both things could happen, I guess. I guess she could die, because we don't know what rules the Maiden power follows. if she can still be switched back on, like what power state of Penny counts as death as far as the Winter Maiden powers are concerned? If she went into standby, does that what amount of damage and what amount of ability for her to be restored would cause the Maiden powers to flee? Or could they persist through like some long shutdown for her? Interesting question. Not sure if they'll go into it. Well, hopefully hopefully they don't have to go into it. But it is one of the things that I'm wondering. The other implication here is that we have Cinder and Watt and the Hound on a crash course with Ruby's team now. Because if they are going to be tracking Penny, then we are going to have another conflict coming. So there are many, many exciting things happening. And I think we have to wait until... Oh, okay. So Volume 8 will run for 14 episodes and will return with Chapter 8 on Feb 6th. So we've still got a while, and we've still got the entire other half of the volume to go. But anyway, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.